Despite the fact that geopolitical approach emerged not so long ago, the influence of geography on politics and international relations in the previous historical periods cannot be denied. Even in the ancient times, tribes and nations did their best to settle in the most secure places, surrounded by mountains, rivers, or some other natural barriers, and also near rivers or on the seashores to have access to resources and to trade opportunities. Then why did geopolitics emerge in the end of the 19th century within academic community, not before? We can find the answer to this question in the term geopolitics. Let's divide this term into its components and look at them. Everything seems rather clear with the part politics. It tells us about struggle for power and dominance over others, for supremacy over the other countries. When we are speaking about the term geo, it usually includes two meanings. On the one hand, geo means geographic factors that determine the struggle for power, the whole political process. On the other hand, in Latin, geo means earth, which clearly tells us the place where this struggle for power and supremacy happens, which is the global arena. At this moment, we can say that emergence of geopolitics is connected with two important processes. The first was the age of discoveries. The voyages of Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, and many other Europeans in the 15th, 16th, and the 17th centuries broadened the worldview of many Europeans. It allowed the European great powers and their leaders to think globally and to go far beyond their state borders in their foreign policy planning. Second was the rise of geography as academic discipline. Discoveries of new lands predetermined requests for geographical knowledge about these lands, these territories, and people who lived there. Geography could provide such knowledge, and thus it became an effective tool to tell the truth about the natural and social environment of the surrounding world. Now let's look in detail at the term politics in geopolitics. The age of discoveries was a turning point in the human history. It opened the doors for colonization. The European countries that discovered new territories abroad decided to colonize them, to establish control over them. This is how the global quest for resources and territories started. Colonization also contributed strongly to division of the world into us and them. In the previous centuries, this division was driven mainly by ethnical and religious diversity and controversies. Then the new racial dimension was added as the European countries that conquered new lands in the Americas and later in Africa and in Asia did not consider local societies and local types of governance as equals. This feeling of European supremacy caused a phenomenon that was called social Darwinism, by the name of the theory of Charles Darwin, according to which only the fittest species can survive. The Europeans considered themselves such supreme species. They believed that they should conquer the whole world, that they should govern the whole world, and that they should take care of the nations that were not so advanced. Later, famous writer and statesman Rudyard Kipling defined this phenomena as the white man's burden. Another contribution to political competition between states at the global level was made by the Malthusian theory that was formulated by Thomas Malthus in his essay on the principle of population. Malthus, 1798, believed that technological innovations lead to growth of population and to growing demand for resources. According to his theory, the growth of population is higher and faster than the growth of produced resources. And this may lead to hunger, to diseases, and to death. Many European scholars, scientists, and statesmen believed that conquering of new territories abroad can allow them to overcome this Malthusian trap and to gain new additional resources. Finally, in the 19th century, in the age of industrialization, the process of colonization got one more incentive. In many cases, control over foreign territory also meant control over people who lived in this territory and over its market. It was very important for the European countries who in the 19th century started to produce more and more products. Thus, colonialism has moved to the next level that was called imperialism, which meant not only extraction of resources, but also creating favorable conditions in the colonies for the national companies of the metropole. Ultimately, the emergence of geopolitics was predetermined by political practice during the 16th, 19th centuries. On the one hand, it was the time of rising geopolitical competition between the great powers of Europe, the time of their struggle for resources and territories. On the other hand, in this period, the age of discoveries happened, and this age of discoveries created a request for geographical knowledge. Thus, geographers became more important and influential in any European empire.